Hello and welcome to another edition of Left-Handed with a lot to say. That's two T's, not one. And I sit here with my left-handed scissors. I'm talking
Oh,
to you. I forgot to bring in my left-handed mug, but I have my left-handed scissors. They're made for you, made for everybody. That was given to me for my birthday. I'm here to talk to you. I'm James Lott Jr. and we're here to talk to you about left-handedness. Thank you everyone who's been so kind and actually been really enjoying my videos, enjoying the podcast. All you left-handed groups out there, I love you. Thanks for commenting and sharing and having really interesting discussions. And I love doing this podcast. This is like episode 21 or something I've done of this, and I'm having a good time.
amazing.
I have a person who I just love to death, and this person's on another podcast that I do, which by the time this airs, it will be out. It's called A Lot of Help with James Lott Jr. on GLG Media. And this person, I mean, I'm going to listen to things that they do, as she does, but it's not going to really matter because of her left-handedness. Trauma recovery coach, assertiveness coach, producer, content creator, public speaker, just a few things that this person does. But the most important thing, left-handed. Linn Rivers. Hi, Lynn.
Hi. Good to be here. I'm excited about this.
Yes, I know. Okay, so because we were doing the show and you mentioned you were left-handed, I mentioned I was left-handed, and I was like, wait a minute, you got to come on the show. That's what this show's all about. We literally not going to talk about anything else but your left-handedness.
Great.
But so I have one question I have not asked anybody else in the program because
Awesome.
you're that unique. I want your take on this, if there's a take at all on this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my guest Lynn identifies as a star seed, and so you want to know what that is? You can figure that out on the other podcast. But I want to ask you, how does this handedness play in your body and how you are here on Earth and all that kind of stuff? How does it even play in your world?
I think it's connected. I think there are, if you pay attention to the people who are left-handed, we come from a completely different aspect of our brain. We use so much, we have a tendency to use our more feminine nature, and it's an internal feminine. It's not an external feminine. Just like, so you are a masculine who can exude a feminine energy, and I am a masculine woman who exudes feminine energy. Like it's, and we tend to do that as left-handers. And I think it plays into being a starseed and having that uniqueness, being completely different from, the majority of the population. There is such a small percentage of left-handers. And when you think about the correlation of how many people are here from another planet, it's a small percentage also. And so I think it correlates. I think there is a thing, like you may not identify as a starseed, but as I see you, as you came into this existence, like it is a possibility that you did, come here from another planet too.
Sure.
And the left-handedness, I think, is just one of those things where I'm like, like I came in, I wanted to go home because I was so different. My gender was off, my this, and I was left-handed, and left-handed used to be reprimanded. Like they used to make people correct.
Yes. Oh, I know. Me too as a kid. I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. And so it's one of those things where I think it plays into that difference of being here and having that unique trait that says, hey, like pay attention to these people because they're different. They're not like the rest of the population. There's something to them. We need to pay attention to that. Don't discipline it. Like there's something amazing and something that we need to see that's in it.
Well, I did a show on the history of left-handedness, and it's kind of why it became bad. It's Sinestra, the word Sinestra. I mean, all these things. It's like it's so weird. I mean, just as humans, we do the weirdest stuff in history. We had the weirdest thought process and everything. But I remember my great-grandmother was the only left-handed person in my family.
Wow.
But she was told to be right-handed, so she was beat. And so she's now, well, she's dead now, but when she was alive, she was ambidextrous mostly because she could use both hands. I thought that was really cool, but it wasn't by her design. It was because she was forced. When I was a kid, and I mean, I'm a certain age, they tried to make me right-handed for a second. And when I was very young, like, no, use this hand. No, use this hand. And I was very strong-willed, so I was like, no, this is the hand I'm going to use.
Right.
And I did. So I know I just feel like that. I've talked to some people that just like this whole left-handed is bad. Left-handed is bad. But then I talk to left-handed people on the show, and we do all feel, from all walks of life, for all looks, different genders, everything, we all feel a connect. We do feel a connection. It's not weird. So do you feel that when you like go out and about, you see another left-handed person, do you automatically notice them? Yes, exactly. Isn't that funny? Like a club.
Yes.
It's like a club.
Yeah.
No issue. We
Because
notice.
it's such a small percentage. And so when you find them, it's just like the gay family. Like when you see someone, you're like, oh, family. And it's like,
Yes.
oh, there's my lefties. Like,
Exactly. It's so interesting. And I notice it mostly when I go to restaurants with friends or family. I sit
yes.
and so my elbow doesn't, you know, or I get another
Yes.
person. Isn't that funny? See, you know. That's
Yeah.
so interesting placement.
You plan where you're going to sit and you tell people like, I have to sit at this corner. Otherwise I'm going to bump you. And then they're like, oh, I'm a lefty too. So we can sit next to each other.
Yeah.
I was like,
Isn't that funny? I mean, you're right. I still wonder. I mean, we'll never know this, or we may know this one day when the universe explains it to us. But I just wonder why some of us are left-handed. And as I was doing this show, this program, it's increasing my curiosity, just existentially, like why some of us. I mean, the majority of the world is right-handed, which means the world is geared towards normal, right-handed to their brain. That's the thing. Like, we're normal. You're wrong-handed. That kind of thing. So I mean, what are some of your thoughts on that? I don't know what to think. Like, why some of us? I mean, what's some more of your thoughts on that?
My personal thoughts surrounding it does come again from this this perspective of being here for a different purpose, like using the femininity. Because when you think about the population, we have a male dominated as far as masculine dominated, not actual male physical body, but masculine dominated society. And a big portion of the world is dominated by masculinity. And yet we have the small percentage of us who operate from the feminine aspects of ourselves more. And I think like that plays into it, like the feminine. So the left side of the body is feminine, the right side of the body is masculine. And so when you think about like when you're using your left hand, you're automatically dominating with the femininity. And so it's interesting to see the aspect of like the world and how it's like a big masculine population versus the small feminine population, and the lefties versus righties. And it's like, I think there is a purpose to us being left-handed, and we were supposed to be noticed as kind of a almost like a sanctuary, right? Like these are people that you can go to who have lessons to teach you. Because have you ever noticed that people who are left-handed, I don't know if this is something you've come across, but they have typically dealt with a lot of other things in their lives too. Like there's a correlation between how much they have handled and what they have overcome. And one of the things was being left-handed for people, even just back in the day, because they were literally beaten to use their right hand. And so I think it was like a symbology of these are people to turn to, but because of our male-dominated society and the offended, nature that comes with it, and the fear that comes from anything being different, they put this stigma on us, like, nope, they're bad because they're different, instead of, oh, we have something to learn from them because they are different. And for me, I think being a starseed and coming here, that was one of the attributes, like genderless identity, being left-handed, like that whole thing just kind of correlates. And so I think it's all part of the bigger picture, and we're seen as something so much bigger to be acknowledged, not shut down.
That's interesting. I like that. I do. I like that. And and I've always been noticed, and I know a lot of left-handed people, a lot of us are, we have some presidents who are left-handed. Barack Obama was left-handed. I mean, it's like there's some of us who do, Oprah Winfrey's left-handed, Barbara Streisand. Our folks are left-handed. We do stuff. A lot of us lefties out there. But I do agree that, the world is, everything is set up. Like, for example, I was helping a person move into a home, and I was helping them in the kitchen. And I went, wait a minute. This kitchen, I've told this story on the show many times, but I always like to be able to see people's reactions. I was just like, this kitchen seems familiar to me. Like, it really is just like, I like the way it's set up. And I didn't know why at first. The energy in the kitchen, everything was like, well, it was a house full of left-handed people.
Wow.
So they designed the kitchen for a left-handed person. So the flow, meaning like from the refrigerator opening to like, I didn't see exactly. So I was in it. I'm moving boxes, I'm putting stuff in there going, wait a minute, why is this like, so even where the stove was placed to where it was like, stove was like right here, like it's hard for me to do, but it's like here, but like there's a counter right here, there's a sink right, like everything was like the opposite of what you normally would see. So it flowed left to right. Everything was left to right. Where you went to hand get to grab the utensils, the way they hung them, it was like, oh,
Wow.
left-handed. Okay, there you go. Like it was just everything was like this. They said, and they told me we did it on purpose. We designed
That's
it.
amazing.
And so I thought it was a house. My brother and I are left-handed, so we live
Oh,
together.
wow.
Weird. We're the only ones in my family, so it's really weird. And our refrigerator is for left-handed people. We have that on purpose. I mean, like my cabinets, when I had them redone, I got that idea from that. I said, make it for left-handed people. So
That's amazing.
it's interesting. So I thought that's an interesting thought to actually, you can make things, but normally everything is geared because they don't think about it for the right-handed person. It's just, that's how it is. And we have to overcome that all the time. We have to, that's something that we have to, as left-handed people, have to adapt. Do you think we're more adaptable than than right-handed people? Do you think we just kind of naturally adapt?
Yeah, I think we have to. I think it's just like, it's a natural adaptation, except for certain things like scissors drove me crazy as a kid.
I know.
You know, now they make them pretty ambidextrous where it's like both of them are the same size. But when I was a kid, like I used to use them upside down.
Yes.
And there's some things that I don't think you can adapt to. But I do force myself to use my right hand for certain things because it does trigger the other side of the brain, right? So I'm like, okay, what can I do that's simple enough to use my right hand with? And it's so awkward. Like when I'm holding a spoon, I'm like, this is so bizarre. And so I think that we naturally adapt, and some of us don't ever try to use our right side. And like, it just kind of becomes it's like a game, like wherever you go.
My mouse is on the right side. So I use it as
mouse,
a right.
yeah, right.
I type my left and I type with both hands, but I use my mouse on the right.
Right. And see, and there's certain things that it's more difficult for a lefty. Like I would not be able to use my mouse with my left hand.
Same here. Right?
I'm like trying to click. I'm like, this is so awkward. And the guitar, the way guitars are set up are actually perfect for lefties. Because have you ever tried to strum with your right hand? Like it's like.
My guitar is back here. No, I've not tried. No.
Right. So it's kind of funny, and like just the way that certain things are set up, it's like, oh, this is perfect for a lefty. And other people are kind of learning it backwards. Because when I strum with my right, I'm like all over the place.
It's weird. No, it's weird. No, you're right. It's weird. It's weird. I mean, it's totally weird. I know. Also, for me, because I took up crocheting, I had to learn from a left-handed person. The right person just do the opposite of me. I'm like, that's not how our brain works. You don't just do the inverted of what you do. Like, that's not how that works. I tell you, do the same thing. Then you do the opposite of me. And then you go, no. When I had to tie my shoes as a kid, I had to teach myself.
Wow.
I couldn't learn from anybody else. And they tried to sit in front of me and it just didn't work. So my brother came along, they had me teach him.
That's awesome.
And he got it fast. He got faster. But I was very a self-sufficient kid anyway. So I figured it out. I'm very resourceful, so I figured it out. But my brother, I was able to show him. And and he picked it up right away because it was just really easy because he just followed what I did. But when they say do the opposite, I'm like, that doesn't always work. We don't do things the opposite. That's not, you think.
Especially as a kid.
Especially as a kid. No. Maybe as an adult for the crocheting, I had to find a left-handed person. And so the way they hold the needle, like that was perfect. That was perfect. I can see it.
Wow.
I'm a visual person, so I can like see it. I pick it up.
Yeah.
When did you know you were, this is a loaded question. When did you know you were different? No. When did you know, no, that's a funny question.
Very early on.
No, when did you know, like that was just for us. No, when did you know you were different left-handed? When did you realize you were left-handed? Like what kind of cognitive thought did you have that you were left-handed?
I just remember being a kid and always having things in my left hand. And I remember my parents like conversation about it, like, no, she likes her left. Like she's, always on her left side. And I can't like pinpoint a time other than being in like kindergarten and them having a hard time teaching me. Like not knowing how to like show me the letters because it was completely different and always smearing the board.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that drives me nuts. Yeah.
Yes, me too. And I write like a right-handed person this way. I write like this. I don't write like this.
I turn my paper.
Yeah, I'll say me too. Yeah, I turn it.
Yeah.
Folks, this is my
You
writing.
see how weird it is? Like what we have to do,
I
even
know.
just to write. Like,
Just to write.
Okay, turn. Like there is a whole science behind it.
I know. Just to write. Just to write, people. We have to do things like this. So I get it, because I hate ink on my hands. I hate it. I'm like, oh, not a fan. Or pencil. I have a kid pencil on my hands. I didn't like it either. Crayons, anything. I don't like anything on my hands. Like,
No.
certain things to do this happen.
I'm a big
Lynn, thanks for being on the show. That's so funny. You actually brought something to the show we've never had before, so we've very interesting conversation. Can't wait for folks to like listen to this and see this. But tell me where they can find you and what you're doing these days out there.
Well, so right now I am finishing up my book, and it is about being a starseed and overcoming trauma in this world for everyone else to comprehend what trauma is and how to get through it and to utilize it to move forward in life. And I am working on a documentary also revolving around trauma and authenticity and how to bring those two together in your existence. And you can find me at linnrivers.com, and it's LINN Rivers with an S.com. And you can contact me on there if you want to talk. I'm not on social media other than LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn. So yeah, that's how to find me.
Right. And you can find this show on all streaming platforms. Wherever you listen to your own podcast, go there and you can find Lefthanded with a lot to say. That's with 2 T's. Also, the videos are on JLJ Media on YouTube, my online network, over 30 shows. Go ahead and check them out. Check out our interview on A Lot of Help with James Lott Jr. It's also on streaming services and blah, blah, blah. It's everywhere. So I have an online network of 30 shows. Go ahead and check those out. But Lefthanded folks, check these out. These are very interesting people talking about from things like using the gas pump to teaching yourself how to use your right hand to being left-footed. These episodes are just amazing. I love them. I'm so proud of this podcast. I've had the most amazing people, and I love my lefties. I do. I love my lefties. And where you can find me, we're all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. on all the social media platforms. Yes, I am everywhere, even TikTok, 1 or 2. And actually on TikTok, I post left-handed stuff on there. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I get a lot of hits. I have left-handed notebooks, left-handed mugs. Go on there and check all that out. And there's a store in San Francisco called Lefties by Pier 39. So if you're looking for, I think they do online now too because of COVID, but go to Lefties on Pier 39, look them up, and they have a whole left-handed store of goodies. It's all kinds of good stuff. Everyone, please stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you guys next time.